Hello everyone, in this video I will go over my solution to the problem named integer shop taken from today's Code Forces round. This problem is an excellent problem which teaches us how we can effectively use the STL pair data structure. So there is an STL data structure in C++ called the pair, and we will learn how we can effectively use this basic data structure in order to simplify our code for this problem, and we can basically simplify a lot of casework which would otherwise just lengthen the code. We can simplify that by using a pair of integers and by effectively using min and max. So we will be using an idea that the min of the negative number, by finding the minimum of the negative value of c, you are actually finding the maximum of all c's. So we will be using this idea, and we will also be using the idea that the maximum value of negative c is actually also equal to the minimum value of c for all integers c. So we will see how we can use these basic math ideas along with the pair data structure in order to solve this problem. So in this problem, we are basically given a shop which sells n segments. So it sells contiguous segments, which the ith segment goes from Li to Ri and costs Ci coins. Now Vasya wants to go shopping in this shop and will buy some segments there. So she wants to buy segments such that the maximum number of integers get covered in the segment, and the integers which are covered in the segment are all those integers which first of all lie within these segments. So let's say that the first S segments are taken into consideration. Then the segments covered by Vasya will be first of all segments lying in these ranges, and also the integers lying between all pairs of integers L and R, such that L is a left point and R is a right endpoint. So if we choose any L and we choose any R, then all the points lying within Li and Rj will be within the set of segments which Vasya has bought. And in general, if you want to simplify this, you can see that the total number of integers which Vasya has bought, if she chooses these segments, would actually be equal to the min of all Li and the max of all Ri. So this would actually be the contiguous segment, and this is the first observation, that all the elements lying within this range are bought by Vasya. So let's say that Vasya chose the segment 2, 4 and then 7, 8, and then let's say she chose 10, 11. Then it's clear that all elements lying within 2 and 11 will be bought by Vasya, and that's why if you had 3 segments, so let's say you had 3 segments 2, 4, 7, 8 and 10, 11 for example, then in this case Vasya has actually bought all elements lying in 2 to 11, and this segment 7 to 8 has gone waste. So Vasya should not buy this segment. Vasya needs to buy only 2, 4 and 10, 11. So that's the second key idea, which is only 2 segments are required at most. Even 1 segment could be required, but at most 2 segments will be required. 1 segment should contain the minimum element in so far, and the second segment should contain the maximum element so far. So that's the second key idea. And basically we need to minimize the cost also. So we don't only need to minimize so we know that the segment will be min Li and max Ri, and for all pairs of segments which have the min Li and the max Ri as the range, we need to minimize the cost. So for example, let's say that we had 2 segments. So initially we had the segments 2 to 4 and 20. Then we need to print that the number of coins for the first segment will obviously be 20, and if we add one more segment from 7 to 8, then we need both of these to get 20 plus 22, which is 42. And in the second example, when we have Initially we have one segment from 5 to 11 and 42, so obviously we would print 42. The second segment is redundant and is not necessary, because even in that case the segments, the integers which Vasha will get as a gift will be from 5 to 11. So 42 would be the output for the second example. And in the third example, we will go one by one. So initially 1 to 4 contains will be the segment of integers, and the cost will be 4. That's the first output. The second output is the cost for the first two segments, which will be a 4 plus 9, which is 13. For the first three segments, the optimal thing would be to choose 1 to 4 and to choose 7 to 8, because that will cover 1 to 8. So the cost for that is 4 plus 7, which is 11. And then if we look at the first four segments, then it's clear that we should choose the first segment and the last segment in order to get 1 to 10. So that costs 4 plus 252, which is 256. Then if we look at the first five segments, we obviously need 1 and we need 11. So in this case, just choosing 271 only works, because it contains 1 and it contains 11. So that's why 271 would be the output. And in the last example, again 271 only would be the output, because it contains the minimum element and the maximum element, and it has the minimum cost of 271, and that's why the output is as follows. And in general, we are trying to ensure that we are either taking one or two segments. So the key idea would be, so the first case is when we use one segment. So there are two cases. So the first case is that when we use one segment, and the second case is when we use two segments to contain all the integers, and we notice that the integers will be a contiguous interval with the left endpoint equal to min li and the right endpoint equal to max ri, and that we notice from the examples itself, because you can clearly see that from this example where we had 2, 4, 7, 8, 10, 11, then in this case the segment would be 2, 4, 10, 11, and that's why we used two segments to cover the range from 2 to 11, and that was segment 1 and segment 3. So in this case we need to use two segments to contain the left endpoint equal to the min of li for I so far, and right endpoint equal to the max of ri for I so far. So we can maintain this running min and the running max, and we know what are the endpoints which we need to cover. Now let's look at the first case when we use only one segment to contain this entire interval. So if we use only one segment, then we know that the segment should be the min endpoint left endpoint so far and the max right endpoint so far, and for all these segments which satisfy this condition, we need to find and print the minimum value of C for all these segments. Now an easy way to do this would be to notice that we essentially need to figure out three values. We need to store three values: the min L, the max R, and the min C, and the C value for each segment, which we are given in the input. However, instead of storing L and R, let's store R minus L. Instead of storing L and R, let's store R minus L comma C. And the key idea is that this maximum value of R minus L will correspond to the maximum value of the difference between R and L, and that will correspond to the value of min L and the value of max R. Because if we maximize R and if we minimize L, then we are maximizing R minus L, and that's why we can just store R minus L instead of storing both these parameters. And why does this help us? This helps us because if we store the maximum value of R minus L and if we store negative C as a pair, so this is where our pair comes in handy. If we store these two quantities in our pair, then doing the max of this will actually give us not only the maximum value of R minus L, it will also give us the minimum value of C. Why? Because I just mentioned above that storing the maximum value of negative C will give us the negative of the minimum value of C, and hence we can just negate the second quantity to get the minimum value of C. So in this way we can store a pair R minus L comma minus C, and we can do a cumulative max each time iteratively, which I'll show in the code. And in this way we can take the second quantity to be the minimum value of C and the first quantity to be R minus L. And we know that if this first max of R minus L, which is the first value in this pair, if this quantity is equal to the max R minus the min L, so if this quantity is equal to max R minus min L, then we know that we have the maximal segment, and in this case we will set answer to be the minimum of answer and the particular value of C, which is given by the second quantity in the pair. So that's the first case. If you didn't understand this fully, I'll be explaining in the code again, so don't worry. Now let's look at the second case, which is to consider two segments. So in order to consider two segments, we again use a pair trick, which will help us simplify the code. The second case is slightly easier to understand because in the second case we know that there are two segments. So the first segment contains the minimum value of L, and the second segment contains the maximum value of R. So we know that the first segment is something like the min L so far and some arbitrary value of R, and the second segment is something like some arbitrary value of L and the maximum value of R. So we know that we just need to store what are these two segments, and we need to prioritize them by the minimum value of C. So we need to ensure that both of these elements contain like a min value of C, a lesser value of C. So in order to do that, we can just maintain a pair of min L and the minimum value of C and max R and the minimum value of C, and let's just see how we can update that pair. So initially I'll mention how we can do that in code, but let's say that we have correctly maintained the value of the pair so far. So far we know that we have maintained what is the min L and what is the C min, and we have also maintained what is the max R and what is the C min. So in this case, in order to ensure that we are updating it correctly, we need to ensure that when we take the min with this function, so if we take, so let's say that this is the let's call this low for example, and let's call this high. So we know that when we are at the current point L comma R comma C, we will do low is minimum of low and the pair given by L comma C. That's what we will do. We will update min L and we'll also update C. So this works out fine because we are minimizing L and we are also minimizing C. However, the second case won't work fine if you use C, because we need to maximize the value of R but minimize the value of C. That's why we need to set high to be the maximum value of R and the maximum value of negative C, because as you can see from the notes, the maximum value of negative C will actually give us the minimum value of C, and that's why just storing the negative value of C will work, and we can just set high to be the maximum of high, comma the current value of R and negative C. So this will give us the maximum value of high, and it will also maximize the negative C, which means it will minimize C. And that's why in both the cases we are minimizing C and we are also storing the minimum value of L and the maximum value of R. And in this way we can just find the cost. So we can just find the cost to be the minimum of the cost so far and like the minimum of the previous answer, and we can just do like L dot second plus the negative value of R dot second, or low dot second plus the negative value of high dot second, because we know that low dot second corresponds to the cost, the minimum cost for a segment which has a left endpoint at min L and high dot second corresponds to the negative value of the cost of a segment which has an endpoint, a right endpoint at maximum value of r. That's why this quantity will give us the sum of these two costs, and we will initially set the answer to be this. And reviewing case 1, rewriting case 1 in terms of the second case terminology, we can use a global variable single to represent the single maximum, so we will use a pair single to represent the max difference. So the max difference between the right endpoint and the left endpoint for a single interval, that's given by max difference. And we will also store the minimum value of the maximum, we will also store the minimum cost by storing the maximum value of negative c. So in case 1, we will update single to be the maximum value of single and the current difference r minus l and the current value of cost. And we know that if single dot first is equal to the high dot first minus low dot first, if this condition is met, we know that a single is a single interval which contains the minimum endpoint and the maximum endpoint, and that's why we will just update answer to be the minimum of answer and the cost for that interval, which is given by negative of single dot second. So we know that a negative single dot second gives us the minimum cost, and single is the single interval which contains the minimum left endpoint and the maximum right endpoint. That's why we perform this operation, and we will initialize answer with low dot second minus high dot second, because we know that low dot second gives us the minimum cost for an interval which contains the left endpoint, and high dot second gives us the minimum cost for an interval which contains the right endpoint. And that's why first we will check for case 2 and we will set answer to be this, and then if this additional condition is met, we will also set the answer to be the minimum of answer from case 2 and the answer from case 1. So now I'll show you the code implementing the same idea. So in the code I use LL for long just for safety in case the integers overflow, and const LL infinity to be 10 power of 18, which is one of the largest infinite values which you can store in long. So for each test case I taken the value of n. I initialize low to be infinity because we are minimizing, we want to find like the minimum value of the left endpoint. That's why we set it to infinity, and it will always decrease, and the cost should also be minimized. That's why we can set this cost to be very large, to be infinity. And similarly high is negative infinity, so that we are finding the maximum value of the right endpoint. That's why maximum with negative infinity will always give a larger value. And again the cost can be set to infinity because we want the minimum value of the cost, like or negative infinity in this case, because we are maximizing the negative value. And we set single to be negative infinity initially because single stores r minus l, and it also stores the minimum value of, it stores the maximum value of negative c, so that will be negative infinity, because we want to maximize the negative value which will minimize the positive value. And we, for each I going from 1 to n, we will take in the ith interval. We will update low to be the minimum of low and l comma c. So l represents the left endpoint and c represents the cost, so we minimize the cost and the left endpoint. Similarly we maximize the right endpoint and the negative value of the c, which will help us minimize the value of c itself. And similarly we maximize the range of an interval, of a single interval. So we know that if this range r minus l is equal to this r minus this l, then the single interval from L to R contains the whole set of integers, and that's why this maximum value of negative c will give us the minimum value of c, which we will use as one possibility, as case 1 in fact, for the answer. So initially we set case 2 because we know that will always work, and the value of case 2 is given by low dot second minus high dot second, because low dot second gives us the minimum cost for the left endpoint and for the left interval, and a high dot second gives us the negative value of c for the right interval containing the right endpoint, and that's why performing this operation will add those two, and that's case 1 and in case 2. And for case 1, if the condition is met that the single interval single dot first contains the entire interval, like which has the high value and the low value, then we will set the answer to be the minimum of answer and the maximum value of the negative c, which will give the minimum value of the cost, and that's why we perform this operation. And in the end we just print the answer with an enter, and you can verify this code gets accepted. I hope you like this problem and my solution. If you had any doubts, do leave them in the comments down below, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you.